Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the official beginning of the Seahawks Sessions post-game show. I'm coming to you from the beaches of lovely Long Island, New York. My name is Dan Cruz, and this is the Seahawks Sessions post-game show, part of the Time to BS family shows and Belly Up Sports and Belly Up Media Networks. You can follow the show wherever you get your podcasts. Also, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. At Daniel Smooth and at Time to BS Podcast, and clips for the show and other stuff at Daniel Smooth on TikTok. As I said before, welcome to the Seahawks Sessions post-game show. This is a new thing we're going to do. Recording only, no live stream, no big deal. And figured we would do this last week, but it didn't work out because I didn't have this idea until Friday. Well, doesn't that suck? Oh, geez, that sucks, don't it? Right? It's not fun. You don't love to see these things. It's just terrible. It's not fun. It's not fun. Don't forget to like, follow, share, and subscribe to the show. Again, wherever you get your podcasts, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and on the Belly Up and Friends pages on wherever you get your podcasts. So, yeah, let's get to the meat of the whole thing. So the Seahawks get a big 31-17 win in Pittsburgh over the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers. Kind of flipped it around on purpose because it seems wherever Aaron Rodgers finds himself over the last 10 years or so, he seems to have a big, I guess you would call it, influence on how things get done. But regardless, it was close early. Very close early. At halftime, it was a 14-14 Seahawks. What was a tie game, 14-all. Seattle played relatively well for the most part. Sam Darnold, other than two interceptions, he played really well. He played really shockingly well. Especially after last week's blunder against the 49ers. A lot of Seahawk fans were like, maybe Sam Darnold's not the guy. But overall, if you look at the numbers, the Seahawks ran 64 plays for 395 yards. 278 of them were in the passing game. 117 were in the rushing game. And there's a big one. There is a big one. Because last week, Seattle could not run the ball. They did this time. So, you love to see that. Kenneth Walker had a nice day, had a touchdown, including the game ender. Late in the game to ultimately seal it for Seattle. The defense played great. For the second week in a row, the defense played out of their mind. Out of their mind. They allowed 17 points for the second week in a row, but this time in a win. 2 interceptions for the second game in a row. 3 sacks of Aaron Rodgers, including 1.5 by Byron Murphy the second. And they did all this without Devin Witherspoon. That's impressive. You love to see these things. So, one of the big issues going into this game was, hey, are they going to be able to run the ball? And more importantly, are they going to be able to stop the passing game of the Steelers? Because last week, the Steelers quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, threw 4 touchdowns on, granted, a bad secondary for the Jets, but it was against the Jets defense regardless, and there are no scrubs in New York. Now, say what you want about them, because the Jets did just get blown out by Buffalo at home also. But at the same tier point, The defense, this was a big key for this season, was can the defense take that second leap? Last season, they finished 14th overall in total defense. But when Ernest Jones got there halfway at the trade deadline last season, the defense took off. DeMarcus Lawrence, pretty good game. He was disruptive all game. Leonard Williams, disruptive all game. We're also going to go over and review our offensive player of the week and defensive player of the week and key play of the game for the Seahawks. And where I think the Seahawks can improve is also in the running game for the second week in a row. It just seemed like they didn't do enough to open up the rushing attack. Maybe they need to get George Holani more involved. Maybe they need to find a way to play to Kenneth Walker's strengths. But in spite of the fact that Kenneth Walker had over 80 yards rushing, it seemed like they could have had more. They could have had more. So it's tough. It's really tough. It really is tough. But what gives me hope as a Seahawk fan is it's only week 2. It's only week 2. It could only go up from here. They travel back home where they will play Spencer Rattler, Alvin Kamara, and the New Orleans Saints. Saints are not a good team. But they have shown that they can score. They put up 21 points against a really good San Francisco defense and a loss earlier today. We'll talk about more on the main show, Seahawks Sessions. Before we get on to defensive player of the week and offensive player of the week and share our final thoughts, we do need to get to a mandatory advertisement break because just make it quick. We'll make it quick. So, as per usual, this show ain't free, so we'll be right back after a word from Candidips. This show ain't free, so time for some ads.
Hey guys, this is Hector from the Insert Name FC podcast here to tell you guys about Candidips. It is a great tasting, superior alternative to traditional dip using CBD in a way that is radical, enjoyable, and effective. It comes in 5 core flavors: wintergreen, mint, citrus, mango, and American spice. Candidips CBD is the new evolution in dip, allowing guys to enjoy great, long-lasting taste without the downsides. If you guys want to go ahead and try them out, use the code BELLYUP20 at CannadipsCBD.com. Once again, BELLYUP20 at CannadipsCBD.com, and you'll get yourself 20% off your purchase. Thank you again for Candidips for being a great partner of Belly Up Sports.
That's right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Use the promo code BELLYUP20 for 20% off your order at Candidips.com. Thanks to our friends over at Candidips for sponsoring Belly Up Sports, Belly Up Media, and all their fellow podcasts. So, offensive player of the game for the Seahawks this week was Sam Darnold. Last week against San Francisco, Darnold had a good game, but it seemed like the offense was a little It felt like they could have done more. This week, again, in spite of the 2, say what you want, meh interceptions, one was a bad throw to Jalen Ramsey. The other one was a tip drill. Tip drills happen. Tip drills happen all the freaking time. To Nate Herbig. And granted, on 4th down, I thought the one to Ramsey was a lot worse, but he bounced back. Darnold did bounce back for a big-time touchdown to A.J. Barner to give Seattle a lead in the 3rd quarter. And then earlier in the game, Torrey Horton scored his first NFL touchdown on his first NFL catch. But Darnold played really well. 278 yards passing, 2 interceptions, get it, but he looked sharp. He looked really sharp throughout the game. So, final stat line for the Seahawks. Where did I put it? Where's the box score? Sam Darnold was 22-33 for 295 for 278 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He was sacked twice for a quarterback rating of 89.5. for a passer rating of 89.8. Kenneth Walker did have 100 yards, so yay, love to see it. The team as a whole rushed for 117. JSN, good game on Jalen Ramsey. 8 catches for a $103 and a touchdown. Cooper Kupp, nice day for him. 7 catches, 90 yards. Longest catch of the day was 17 yards. 9 targets for him, and Torrey Horton had 2 catches for 32 yards and a touchdown. Elijah Arroyo at his first 2 NFL had a nice day, considering the fact that just they didn't really pass the ball a whole lot, which is fine. It's really fine. They ran more than they passed it, which is good. But Darnold himself, not a bad day for him. Defensive player of the week, come on. Josh Jobe. Josh Jobe played out of his freaking mind at corner. Josh Jobe had 4 tackles. He shut down DK Metcalf for the whole day. He played great. And no one was throwing. Aaron Rodgers was not throwing to him, and whenever Jobe was tested, did nothing. He played great. He played great at corner. And then Tariq Woolen, still calling Tariq, it's his real name. Sorry, I'm not giving him the Reek nickname, especially after his last 25 or so games of just playing god-awful, especially last week. But he bounced back. Woolen had a good game. Josh Jobe, awesome day for him. Awesome day for him. Key play of the game. If you recall, the Steelers were going to get the ball back, and I am assuming the football did touch the Steelers return man. It didn't look like it. It did not look like the ball touched the return man. But George Delani, using his infinite freaking wisdom, decided, ball, and jumped on the ball in the end zone. That's apparently a touchdown, which turned the game upside down in favor of Seattle. Good. And the new rules, listen, I understand that the NFL is trying to increase the probability of more returns. I understand that, but this had nothing to do with the new rules, but it's sort of like a rookie mistake, but it was a costly one for the Steelers. Final thoughts before we close up shop for the day. Hey, pumped. I'm pumped for week 3 against the Saints. Should be a good game. I don't think it's going to be as close as San Francisco or as wide open as the Steelers game earlier today. But it's one of those things where you look back and you go like, we'll see. Hey, there's some work to be done. Also in the injury department, Devin Witherspoon was out for this game with the knee injury. He should be back next Sunday against the Saints. Nick Evenwari, they're one of their safeties. He should be good to go in a couple of weeks. Jalen Sundell, who was hurt, had to leave the game due to an injury, although Watimi did take over his spot at center. Played okay. And the other thing, the offensive line played well. Against that good of a defensive line for the Steelers, they played well. They played really well. I thought that they could have ran the ball a lot more against a Steeler defense that just has a hard time stopping the run. But overall, good day for the boys, for the Seahawks. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dan Cruz. This has been the Seahawks Sessions postgame show. I'm coming to you from the beaches of lovely Long Island, New York. And I'll see you all in this life, and most certainly the next one. Cheers, everyone. Have yourselves a good night.